こんにちは。眠いロコです。Hey, what's up, guys? I think my viewers can use a variety of expressions now. You can read hiragana, katakana, and even some kanji, and you can use some grammar patterns by this point. So today, we are going to learn how to express what you can do. It's Japanese version of the English can. In Japanese, there isn't a single word that works like can. Instead, you change the form of the verb. The verb form we are learning today is called the potential verb. So let's jump right in and see how to make it. First, let's start with do verbs. You simply replace the last do with られる. For example, 見る、見られる、諦める、諦められる. Next up are you verbs. Take a look at this table. As I mentioned before, each row is called あ段、い段、う段、え段、and お段. Masu form uses い段. Nai form uses あ段. And potential verb uses え段. So change the last hiragana to the え段 hiragana and then add る at the end. For example, 話す、話せる、取る、取れる、買う、買える. And finally, the irregular verbs. 来る becomes 来られる. But する, what do you think it becomes? Yep, it becomes できる. It has nothing to do with する, right? Surprising, isn't it? So here are some examples. 運転する、運転できる、予約する、予約できる. And that's how you make the potential verbs. Potential verbs conjugate just like root verbs. So for the mas form, you simply change る to ます. For the ない form, you change る to ない. And for the て form, you change る to て. For example, 料理できる、料理できます、料理できない、料理できて. Now let's see how it's actually used in sentences. 私はイタリア語が話せる. If the verb needs an object, you can use either お or が, but が is more commonly used. If the verb doesn't take an object, you don't use お or が. For example, 私は泳げます. Also, particles other than お do not change. For example, 明日飲み会に行けます。来週は家で働けません。 So, with that in mind, let's look at a few more examples. 私はお酒が飲めない。この文法を説明できますか？田中さん、明日会社に来られないって。あなたの国では何歳からタバコが吸えますか？There's one more point to remember. For る verbs and 来る in the potential form, so the ones that end in られる, they're often shortened to れる. For example, 来れる、食べれる、教えれる. This is called ら抜き言葉. Grammatically, it's incorrect, but it's super common in real life. For example, using the earlier sentence, it sounds more natural to say, 田中さん、明日会社に来れないって。Of course, using the correct form is more polite, but in manga or anime, you'll hear ら抜き言葉 a lot. So try paying attention to it next time. Lastly, let me show you some common sentences that use the pattern ブラができる. The first one is musical instruments. For example, 彼はピアノができる. The second one is languages. For example, 姉は英語ができます. The third one is sports. For example, 私はスキーができない. Alright, let's practice. Please answer the question. 何か楽器ができますか？そうなんだ。How was today's lesson? Try practicing the potential form a lot, and let's keep getting better at talking about what you can do. じゃあまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。またねー。